Hi, my name is Niel Robertson. I'm one of the 3 co-founders of Ramen. As Jason mentioned, we won the launch hackathon last November in 2013. Let's pretend for our story that John and Sally actually participated in the launch hackathon this weekend. They built this really interesting product to measure Net Promoter Score inside of a web app. But they didn't, unfortunately, win, but they came away extremely excited to turn this into a product and maybe a company. But both of them literally just got done spending 6 months moonlighting, weekends, long work hours, et cetera, building another product that when they finally launched, they found that actually no one really wanted it. This time around, what they really, really want is customer validation, and frankly, they could use a little bit of cash to help fund their development effort on the side. Ramen is the first pre-order funding platform specifically designed for software development product teams like John and Sally. We help those product teams get their first 100 customers, a little bit of cash, and then most importantly, we help them work with those customers to develop the right MVP the first time. Let's look at the product. When you go to Ramen, it looks at first blush like a traditional pre-order backing platform, but we focus on the 3 C's that are required to do this well for software. If we take a look inside the project that John and Sally built called TallyBits, we see that the first C is focused on credibility. We all know from the software world that it really does matter who you are, who's on your team, in terms of your ability to execute. We require LinkedIn authentication for every project team to make sure that that credibility is there when you're deciding if you want to fund this piece of software. The second C that we focus on is customers. We want people to design offers related to actually getting customers. So for example, Sally thinks to herself, what if 6 years ago I could have paid $25 for a lifetime subscription to Dropbox if they had put this on Ramen? So she ends up designing her offers in a very, very similar fashion. But those 2 C's are pretty simple. It's really the third C that differentiates Ramen from everything else. If you've ever run a Kickstarter project, you'll know that when you're done funding your project, they essentially send you your money and a CSV of all of your backers. That's it. You're done. You don't use the software anymore. But that's not the way the software works. Software is an iterative and interactive process with early customers to get feedback, to get direction, to make sure you're actually delivering the right thing the first time. That third C is collaboration, and this is really the heart of Ramen and where we shine. In Ramen, we call collaboration the kitchen. The kitchen is a step-by-step process, platform, and specifically designed feature set to work with those backers through your development process to make sure you are delivering what they expected and what you can go to market with very effectively. The first step in the kitchen, the first step in our process, is backer insights. One of the beautiful things about using LinkedIn is you can find out a lot about actually who backed you. It's interesting, John and Sally looked through their backer list, and one of the things that they see is that the actual head of product at Twitter backed them about a lifetime subscription. Wow, this guy's really into NPS. They sort of think to themselves, there's no way we could have networked to this person before. We're really excited about that. We also start to collect analytics about the social influence of the people that have pre-purchased your product. So when you're thinking about finally launching, going from your first 100 customers to your first 500 customers, you can already be thinking about how to leverage the people that have social influence. Once you know who's backed your project, the next thing you want to do is find out what's most important to them. We have a tool called the feature voting tool that allows you to put in a bunch of features that you're undecided on and have all of your early backers vote them up. But because we have backer insights integrated into every feature in the kitchen, you can actually do really sophisticated things. So for example, Sally thinks to herself, wow, I bet you have a bunch of marketing people in my backers. I wonder what people with marketing their title think of this list. It turns out that if you resort the list based on marketers, you find out that the #1 feature they want is very different than the general set of people overall. Now, John and Sally take all this input, they start developing, and inevitably, they come across some design decisions that they have that they don't have strong conviction about one way or another. So for example, when they're developing what the survey would look like that pops up in the application, they come up with 2 concepts for it. They figure they'll ask their backers for feedback on this, and they put this into what we call the design lab. So they upload these 2 different versions of the survey, and they can take a look at the comments, and there's an overwhelming consensus that the top design is the one that everybody wants. And again, because backer insights are integrated everywhere throughout the system, you can find out the context of anybody who's commenting on your designs or asking you questions. So I've been a product manager and developer for over 15 years. Never have I had this powerful of a tool to make sure that I build the right thing. This is fundamentally why we built Ramen, and we're very excited to share it with you. There's 2 things that we want to announce tonight. First is that we've closed our seed round of investment. We're very excited to have Matt Cutler, Jason Calacanis, and Niel join us in the Ramen vision and help us build. The second thing that we're announcing today is that we're actually opening the marketplace for project submissions from anybody. If you go to ramen.is, you can submit your project with your team. We hope you join us. We fundamentally believe the best products are built on Ramen. Thank you.
I'm sorry, so did you say it's for software-based products only, or did I miss that?
Yeah, it's a great question. So we get a lot of people that say, what about hardware, software, things like that? We have a terms of service that says 50% software, but that's kind of getting blurred these days, so we'll see.
Because I can see this being like a great platform. Someone's writing a book, even just like here's my first chapter, just to get some insight from some other types of product categories.
Yeah, we want to start in software, and we'll see where it goes.
So, how many people want to be that involved in the development of a product?
It's a great question. So when we think about collaboration, we don't think about sort of, they say a camel is a horse designed by committee, right? That's not our goal, right? Our goal is to actually provide very specific takes on features that allow you to pull information from those that want to be engaged and want to share with you. So we think there'll be like a traditional power distribution of those that are heavily involved, those that are partially involved. But the tools are really kind of more communication-oriented because it's really the engagement and the communication that gets that input from people, which you normally do through email or phone calls or things like that.
And is there any incentivization to encourage people to comment more, interact with you more, help build that product?
Not currently built into the platform, but it's an interesting idea.
This is all non-dilutive financing?
This is non-equity crowdfunding.
Okay.
So if you go to the site now, you'll see that we've raised over $30,000 of software pre-orders. So $50 for a lifetime subscription already to date.
So you're combining really two projects here. One is crowdfunding platform, and the other is customer development collaboration. Why not just choose one of those to start?
Well, we think there's going to be a proliferation of the first, and there's actually an incredible lack of the second. But really, when you go and you talk to people that are in that stage of the life cycle of their software company, and I've built lots of companies, you're always there at some point. You actually need all of those things, right? You need a little money, you need input, you need to work with people. You go through that process whether you like it or not. So we didn't think we could decouple them.
So no interest in just doing the customer development that, if you're a software developer, you need that at multiple phases of your product.
Yeah, that's a great point. Actually, the number one question we get from people that are product managers is, can I just buy the platform? And we say, we'll see.
Great, let's hear it for Ramen. Well done.